Welcome back to the Ride and Laugh podcast. If you love mountain biking, you're in the right place. Today's Ride and Laugh episode is a short and sweet, quick rip to keep the stoke going and the vibes high. Let's drop in. Sage, we're back for another quick episode because we will not let our listeners down. We are always coming out with a Ride and Laugh each week, even when we're on vacation, even when we're busy.
Yes.
There's going to be a Ride and Laugh in your podcast player and on YouTube because we love our listeners and we appreciate our listeners. Today, we are doing a quick rip that is going to be discussing what the best mountain bike riders have in common.
I love it. I love this topic, and I'll start us off, bro. Some of the best riders that I know are great listeners. They are absolutely great listeners, and they're open to other suggestions. And I think you're going to find that for the pros out there, like they're just really open to receiving good advice and then just being, able to process all that stuff. People that are the biggest voices in the room, and think that they know it all. It's not going to be good, man. If you want to become the best rider, you got to be a good listener.
I love that one. That is fantastic. I do think it was pretty telling that as you were saying, the best riders are good listeners. I really wanted to interrupt you. I was like, wait a second. If I interrupt him, that's clearly a sign that I'm not one of these best riders. Like, first point, he nailed me. First point. I love that so much. You're open to not only to listen and take in information, and we talked about taking in the unsolicited advice and how important that was to me, right?
Yes.
But open to receive. Let's receive what is out there for us. When I say the skills are in there,
right?
We're open to receive, open to get into that flow state. And that's going to be my next point, is being able to get into the flow state. Best riders can access the flow state much quicker and easier. They can clear the mind and access all the skills that are in there because they're be able to stay present. They're able to get into the flow state.
Yeah. Well, going and how to get into that flow state goes to my second point, which I guess would be the third point overall, which is build a routine. Most of the top athletes in the world have routines, whether it's mountain biking or basketball, soccer, you name it. There's a routine. And like for myself, like I have a routine that I have before I do a big feature. I'll have this, I go through this breathing exercise. I visualize the takeoff. I visualize the landing. There's all these things that you can do. And if you have that routine, it'll help you get into that flow state.
That's fantastic. When you said build a routine, I was thinking from waking up in the morning, what you're consuming, what you're listening to, your thoughts, to the car ride. What are you thinking about? What are you listening to? And then getting on the trail. But what the point that you made is the routine when you come up to something that gives you pause, that you have this routine to be able to get into your flow state. We've all had rides where we're really flowing and we're feeling good from the get-go. And we've all had rides where we're kind of in our heads and we didn't do that work maybe pre-ride. Maybe we were distracted by something at home or traffic or something at work. And then all of a sudden you hop on the bike and you're not in that flow state. What do you do to enter into the flow state on your way to the trails or as you're starting your ride?
Yeah, this might be a little bit of not a cheater, but I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but a cop out, I guess. But like, honestly, the best thing that I can do for myself before a ride is to get rid of all expectations. It's something that you talk about all the time, which is being present. The minute that I try and expect or want something from a ride, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to be a letdown. So before I even start the ride, I let go of all those thoughts and I just let that ride be what it's supposed to be. I'm in the moment. I'm present. I don't know, man. What do you do?
I absolutely love that. I think that is unbelievably important to be able to be in that present moment. Let go of expectations when maybe you're going to a trail system and there's a drop there, there's a feature there, there's a jump there that you haven't done before or that you got hurt on or that's in your head and you're thinking about it. For me, I have found that I'm just going to turn that off. I'm going to deal with it when I get there. And when I get there, then I'm in the flow state, but I'm not going to I'm not letting that take up space in my mind for the first half of my ride until I get there, where I'm maybe not focusing on other things. So just letting go of expectation, which you mentioned, letting go of judgment. We're not judging other people. We're not judging other riders. Everything's cool. That's one of the great things about the mountain bike community. Let go of judgment of other riders and let go of judgment of yourself. You're here to have fun. You're worthy. You're already a worthy human being. You're more than worthy just by being a human being, just by being on this planet. We're all worthy. What we do on the bike doesn't make us better or worse. It's just for fun. And then unlock, and it is fun and we love it. And there's stoked to that. But, just perspective, I guess, is having that perspective.
You just mentioned the word focus. And I think one of the things that professional athletes or really good riders in this case, one of the things that they all have in common is their ability to focus on the good. You don't hear professional mountain bikers start and be like, don't fall, just don't fall. You never hear that. You hear them say, let's get this. I can do this. I'm going to kick some serious rear end here. And it's all positive thoughts. So if you want to become the best rider, if you want to be a pro, if you want to be whatever it is that you're going for, start with a positive attitude. Don't think about all the things that can go wrong. Visualize all the things that go right. What's the best that can happen? It's something that you and I say all the time, bro.
What's the best that can happen? It's such a liberating perspective when anything comes into your life, whether it be on the bike or off of the bike, when something comes into your life, if you look at it from what's the best that can happen, let's go with that option. Just unlocking everything. And a pro rider absolutely has to have a positive perspective. And look, obviously they're going to be strong. They're going to be flexible. They're going to be dynamic. They're going to be good athletes. They're going to have fast twitch muscles. Those are the things.
Of course.
Those are the things that, like maybe you would expect us to say for the best riders to have in common. But we want to talk about something that we can all do to be the best version of ourselves and to have the most fun on the trail. And being present and letting go of expectations and letting go of judgment and all the things that we're talking about right now, I would say follow your passion. If you're listening to this, you probably a good chance that you love mountain biking, and we appreciate you for listening. You're passionate about it. Follow your passion. Whatever you're passionate about in life, that is your path. That is your guidance system telling you you're doing something that brings you joy. You should be doing more of that. And when you're doing something that brings you joy, then you're going to be happier and you're going to bring more joy to other people, whether it's on the trails or whether it's when you get home because you're in such a good mood because you just did something that lights you up. Follow your passion. And I believe that the best riders are following their passion and doing what they love.
How about being prepared? I think that, if you look at a professional, and we talked about routines and having all that stuff, but just getting down to the basics of being prepared, having your bike ready to go. It's in tip top condition. You're mentally prepared. Your gear's prepared. Everything's ready to go. It's not like, oh, did I remember to do this? Did I do that? No, you never see professional athletes, good riders. They're all prepared, man. I don't know.
We talked about this in the past. Prepare the night before so that when you wake up in the morning, you can enter into that flow state. You can just empty your mind. You don't need to be running around. You don't need to be worried about anything. So be prepared. Know that your bike's in good working order. Have confidence in it. There's nothing like riding down a technical trail, not being sure if you have brake pads that are all the way worn through or did I inflate my tires correctly? Or, you just don't want to have that taking up any space. So be prepared, have everything working in proper order and know, and with confidence, I got this. Yeah. How about what we consume? What we consume in general, but especially on our way to the trails and as we're getting ready. You want to listen to music that puts you into a good state of mind. You want to be able to visualize. This might be a little bit self-serving, but I'm going to say it anyway because I know it's something that we both do and I know it works for us. We listen to the Ride and Laugh podcast on our way to the trails because this is a high vibe podcast. When I talk to you, I feel really good. We're flowing. We're talking about something that we're passionate about, that we love. And it puts me into that high vibe state, ready to ride. I will listen to other meditation podcasts sometimes on my way to the trails, depending on how much time I have. That's the kind of person I am. But what we consume is important. I don't want to listen to, and maybe it's going to be music that's going to put you into that that flow state, into that high vibe where you're ready to be confident and to slay trails. But I don't want to listen to the news. I don't want to listen to people arguing. What we consume is what we are at that moment. So I want to consume things that are making me feel good and making me feel flow and making me feel confident.
Yeah, I love that, man. Did we already mention this, or at least some version of it? But like, I do want to stress the visualization. I know that's a technique that a lot of professionals use, and I use that as a mountain biker all the time. And what do you do when you're visualizing? It's not just as simple as I can see myself doing it. You always talk about add the emotion, visualize the emotion of how it feels, start to finish, not just the gap that if you're going over a giant jump, it's not just the gap. It's you waiting at the top, and then what's it feel like when you finish? Maybe you're visualizing high-fiving everybody and this immense feeling of joy, but also visualizing the intricacies of that feature itself. There's a lot of visualization techniques, and I think that a lot of the professional riders, they use that technique all the time.
Wow, I think that's fantastic. Absolutely. The visualization along with the emotion, feeling that you've already done it, knowing that you can do it. So we talked about being open to receive. You're open to receiving that emotion. You're open to receiving that success. You're open to receiving how good that's going to feel when you've cleared that jump, drop, feature, tech, roll, slab, whatever it is. You've got this, visualizing it with the emotion. That's a fantastic tip. Absolutely.
I had
another one and it just slipped my mind.
Oh, well, I will give you another one of mine then while you're thinking about it. I started this one with being open to listen and take advice and being a good listener, but also a lot of the best athletes give back. They're not hoarding all the tips to themselves. They're giving back to the community. And you're going to find that as you do that, you're going to improve yourself. There's so much that you can learn from other people by giving back, paying it forward, paying it back to the community. It's big on my list, at least. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh, I totally agree. That's one of the wonderful things about mountain biking. I live my life with generosity, abundance and generosity. Abundance and generosity. They go hand in hand. What goes around comes around. And right. I love, we've talked about this with mountain bikers, how stoked we get for other people doing well, how stoked we get to see a friend do a feature. Yeah. There's something so exciting and so cool about it. And I think that's an excellent point, is giving back, sharing, because whatever you give, you're going to get it back tenfold. The universe is going to provide. We are here to have fun and to flow. And being a good rider is about having fun and being in the moment. And that's where it's at. I love that one. That's fantastic.
Bam.
I had one more and it totally slipped my mind. Let me think for a second.
I think it's tough because, the easy answers are, good body position, training, 7 times a week, and eating right, and those are all the obvious things, and I think that's what everybody would expect us to say. But I kind of like that we're taking this to the mindset, which is really what this podcast is all about. We talk about the mindset and how important that is. What are professional or good riders thinking, before they, because I think that's arguably more important than any of those other things. I mean, yes, fitness is important, but your mind is probably the most important thing if you want to be successful, if you want to achieve the greatest things. So I don't know if that helps you think about what you were thinking.
No, I think what you just said should be on the podcast. I think that was absolutely beautiful. And I think that your definition of the best rider may not be the fastest. The definition of the ride and laugh best rider is the person that's out there and having the most fun and enjoying it and being stoked and getting the most out of their ride. Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
Yep.
All right. If you're still listening, you're definitely one of us. You love mountain biking. You're passionate about mountain biking. You're a fantastic mountain biker. You're an unlimited mountain biker. We appreciate you. Please rate and subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Please tell your friends about us. Everybody have a fantastic week and a great week of riding. Ride and laugh.
I'll see you, everyone.